boy Danny P, back with another review of the new Saba record, You Good Thing. Are you excited? I'm excited. You better fucking be excited. This is a solid record, and I want to do a solid review for it. Saba is a Chicago rapper and I think producer as well. His other record, Care For Me, was released back in 2018, April 2018. Wow, that's a long time ago. And on that record, he showcased a penchant for very conscious storytelling and lyricism. Solid rapper from front to back. But his songs were always lacking. Whether it be on the production end of things, just really flabby, really drab, stagnant melodies and beats, or the choruses just not hitting like they should have been. Thank the heavens that on this record he's actually taken the time to flesh that out and catch up. The production on this record is more dynamic, eclectic, from the jazzy shuffling beats and the moody leads and uplifting strings on the opening track Free Samples, the neck-snapping funk hop of Fearmonger, or the viscous dreamscape of Soldier, or the warping, multi-phased epic that is the closing track, the title track, Few Good Things. There are actually some stylistic risks being taken on this record. The song One Way, or Every Word I Can't Say, with a budget, with its plucky acoustic bass melodies and lo-fi drums that give a really off-kilter jazzy groove. Super intoxicating vibe on this track. One of many intoxicating vibes on this whole record, really. It's some hand percussion and claps and flowery synths on the outro, which just coasts the track out really nicely. It's super fluid. It's super cohesive. The next track, Survivor's Guilt, brings an angered delivery, some hyphy verses from G Herbo and Saba, bassy rattling trap with some music box style keys, murky alternative melodies as well on the verses, and a 3-6 Mafia Juicy J style gang chant hook that is super sticky, super effective. Break in the dough, the dirt in the goal, in the mold. And lyrically, this song is about survivor's guilt, leaving behind family in the hood to pursue a more fruitful life, and the energy of the song does a pretty good job of encapsulating that hunger and that drive. The aforementioned Fearmonger has some really awesome muted rhythm guitar and resonant bass lines. Lighting's changed again. Funny, kooky, like Chance and Kendrick style vocal performance on the pre-chorus and the chorus. It was a bit odd at first, but I think it actually suits the groove of the track quite well. I don't think it goes that far. Buzzy synths lead into like a West Coast P-Funk style beat change. Heavenly outro complete with really satisfying piano chord resolutions and whistly synthesizers a la Dr. Dre. Lyrically, this song is basically describing the fear of losing everything that you have. Does Fearmonger live amongst us? And maybe even the fear of spending money in the case that you end up in a habit of spending money and potentially losing it all, but also not wanting to let that fear digest you, eat you alive. Solid. Dank. Song Soldier, like I mentioned before, awesome track and kind of outlines the stresses of having to stay strong in times of need, wanting to let your guard down, but that not being the way to survive. Life is fighting while nobody notices, die a man or live out like the soldiers. Life is filled with answers that make no sense, live a man or die out like the soldiers. Talking about how he feels like he's getting drafted and he's got to leave the family and hoping that he returns with his body parts attached to him. Musically, the song is an absolute dreamscape. Flanged tones and a really punchy linear groove. Some really sensual harmonies on the chorus. It's funky. It's super vivid in its message and its storytelling, but also incredibly hazy musically. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it! Some of the more underwhelming moments on the record come in the form of tracks like Simpler Time and If I Had a Dollar and the song Still. Now, while these are all really pretty tracks, they kind of succumb to certain tropes in certain styles that kind of lead them to the wayside a little bit. Like the song Still with Smino and Six Lack, which is a really pretty song and it's really moody and jazzy, but maybe just slightly derivative of this style of jazz rap that producers like Knowledge help popularize. It's kind of wonky grooves, soulful samples. Song Simpler Time contains some more fumbly beats, really lone, isolated melodies that go nowhere, personally. Kind of keeps the song from truly blossoming, unfortunately. And If I Had a Dollar, while it does go for a more conventional approach, some delayed echoey leads, these vocals on the chorus that are a bit of an eye roll for me. And the singing is a bit strained and kind of tough to listen to. It's more or less a trappy, trippy ballad It's fun. And a song like Stop That, while it is so solid lyrically, his rapping is super on point. His flow is there. It's just... The song is so hollow and quaint musically that it really doesn't reinforce his rapping on this song at all. 2012 is a reminiscing song, lyrically. Super sparse and kind of faint, toned down melodies. Really solid canvas beat-wise on this track that allows Saba to deliver some really tangible recollections about his past. A girl that he had to stay friends with but couldn't help getting in his feelings over. Past living situations. And this is one of the tracks on the record where his singing is actually really solid. It passes with, not flying colours, but colours. The final track, Few Good Things, like I mentioned much earlier in this review, is definitely one of the top cuts, prime cuts of Steak on this record, where he kind of flips this few good things motif throughout the track. Bad things come in threes, good things come in few. It's a really hopeful cut, sort of detailing the struggle before his fame, his rise to fame. And it seems like once he's reached this fame, he kind of still just wants to live humbly with a few good things. By the end of this track, it's sort of about a celebration of being able to tell your story and make it reach people. Saying at the end, art get turned to assembly line, every line my lineage. Glass half full, the other half was the emptiness. We turned a bunch of nothing to abundance. Few good things. It is a fantastic note to end the record on. It's a beautiful summation of all of the themes that are discussed on this record. And yeah, that's Few Good Things for me. Definitely an improvement on all fronts from his last record. Definitely not without its kind of average moments, in my opinion. But even these more average moments are still admirable. Again, I love the prowess that he shows on the songwriting front on a lot of these tracks. I love the heightened, sometimes orchestral production. And I think lyrically he has actually improved. This record is definitely more of an all-rounder. It does showcase a lot more growth from Saba. And for that reason alone, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. 7.5. Oh, my back's getting sore. What you get for sitting in this bloody position every video, you donkey. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again next time, and I hope Saba just keeps improving, and I hope that I can stop using Audacity as a recording software. I hope that my friends will still want to talk to me after this. I hope that we can all find a little bit of love and happiness in our day-to-day lives. I hope we can find a few good things to be grateful for. I hope that the CIA stops spying on my house every fucking night. I hope that the FBI can finally leave me alone and let me live in peace. Please help me, they live in my walls. Don't leave me alone. Sayonara, bitches!